I want you to picture something. And if you are listening to this right now, I mean, I have a very strong feeling you are going to know this exact scene.
Oh, absolutely. I think we all know it.
Right. So it is Monday morning. The weekend is over.
Ugh, the worst.
The alarm just went off. The house is like completely quiet, and the sun isn't even fully up yet. You get out of bed and you walk into the bathroom.
You do the routine.
You do the routine, you know the one. You take off your pajamas because, let's be honest, we want to be as light as absolutely possible.
Right, taking off the heavy socks.
Oh, totally. You might even take off your watch. You take off your rings. You take a breath, and you step on the scale.
Just standing there on the cold tile?
Yeah. You stand there looking down, just waiting for those digital numbers to flash and fluctuate and finally settle. And then they do.
And then it happens.
And the number staring back at you is higher than it was on Friday.
It's just this awful, quiet, sinking feeling in your gut, right there in the bathroom, before you've even had a sip of water.
It is a profound, really specific kind of quiet devastation. Because, well, here's the context, right? You ate well all weekend.
You really did.
You did. You made the choices you were supposed to make. You went out to dinner with friends, but you were mindful.
You chose the protein and the vegetables.
Exactly. You took a long walk on Saturday afternoon. You drank your water. You made sure to get an early night on Sunday so you'd be rested for the week.
You literally did nothing wrong.
You did absolutely nothing wrong. You played by all the rules. And yet, looking down at that piece of plastic and glass on the floor, you feel like a complete and utter failure before your day has even started.
It's so unfair.
It is. You just start spiraling immediately. You stand there and start mentally cataloging, like, every single bite of food from the last 48 hours.
Trying to figure out where you messed up.
Right. Was it the dressing on the salad?
Yeah.
Was it that handful of almonds? You decide right then and there that the whole weekend was a waste.
That your body is broken.
That nothing you do ever works. And that maybe you just need to start restricting everything again right this second. The narrative just completely flips.
All that quiet pride you had in your choices on Sunday night
Right.
completely evaporates. Just vanishes.
I have been that woman. I am still that woman sometimes.
Yeah, I think we just need to let that sit for a second.
You really do.
Because if you are listening to this and you know that exact feeling of standing on the cold bathroom tile, feeling like you are fighting a battle against your own body that you can never win.
Which is so exhausting.
It really is. You need to know you are not alone. And much more importantly than that, you need to know that your feeling of failure is based on a fundamental lie.
A complete lie. And that is exactly what our mission is for this deep dive today. We are pulling from some incredibly fascinating sources today.
Oh, this research is just game-changing.
It really is. We're looking at these highly controlled scientific studies and endocrinology journals that map out exactly how our hormones function and psychology surveys.
All to completely dismantle the power of that Monday morning weigh-in.
Exactly. Because the truth, the actual biological truth, is that the number you saw this morning, it was almost certainly not fat.
It's so crucial to say that right out of the gate. We give the scale so much ultimate authority over our emotions,
Oh, over our mood for the entire day.
Right. But today, we are going completely behind the scenes of human biology. We are going to explain, step by step, why that morning number is lying to you.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. Because the first hurdle we have to get over is a massive misunderstanding about the tool itself.
The bathroom scale.
Right. We treat the scale like it is a hyper-advanced fat-detecting machine, like it's handing down a final verdict.
But let's look at the physics of it. What is the scale actually measuring?
Well, this is the grand illusion, isn't it?
It really is. We have collectively agreed to pretend the scale is a body fat meter. It is not. It is a gravity meter.
The gravity meter. I love that.
It's true. It measures the total gravitational pull on absolutely everything inside your physical form at the exact millisecond you step onto it.
Everything.
Everything. The scale is completely blind. When you stand on it, it takes a raw inventory of your entire body and dumps it all into one single number.
So it's not just fat.
Not at all. Yes, it is weighing your fat, but it is also weighing your bones. It is weighing your muscle tissue. It is weighing all of your internal organs.
The water in your bloodstream.
Exactly. And the food, right. We always forget about the physical reality of the food we eat.
We totally forget. If you hold a bowl of soup and a sandwich in your hands, it weighs something. It has physical mass.
Right, and when you chew it and put it in your stomach, that mass doesn't magically disappear.
It is physically inside you, working its way through your digestive system, which takes days.
And the scale is weighing all of it.
So if I drink a large glass of water before I step on the scale goes up. Not because I gained fat, but because water is heavy and now it is inside me.
Exactly. And the inventory doesn't stop there. The scale is measuring cellular inflammation from the walk you took yesterday.
It's weighing the energy stored directly inside your muscles.
It's weighing the fluid your body is naturally retaining because you had some salt or because you were stressed about a work email.
Or simply because of where you are in your monthly hormonal cycle.
All of it at once in a single number.
So the scale cannot actually tell fat from water.
No.
I mean, let that land. It cannot tell the difference between a gram of fat and a gram of water.
It has absolutely no idea. It cannot tell a gram of muscle from a gram of digesting spinach.
That is just wild to think about.
It has no clue if the number went up because you gained body fat or because you had a piece of salmon for dinner that was a little salty.
And your body is just holding on to some water to balance things out.
Exactly. It is a completely blunt instrument. If you pack a suitcase and put it on the scale at the airport check-in, the screen flashes 50 pounds.
Right, but the scale doesn't know if that suitcase is full of heavy bricks or thousands of light feathers.
It doesn't care. It just registers the total mass pushing down on the plate. Your body is the suitcase.
But we step on the bathroom scale, and we instantly assume that any change in the total weight must be a change in the bricks. We assume it's body fat.
And our sources are incredibly clear on how chaotic this total mass can be. Because it's measuring everything all at once, that single number can swing wildly.
How much of a swing are we talking about on a normal, healthy day?
Easily 1 to 3 kilograms in a single day.
Wait, 1 to 3 kilos in 24 hours?
In 24 hours.
Hmm.
And that can happen without a single gram of actual body fat changing.
That is massive.
Your body weight is deeply dynamic. It is supposed to fluctuate. It is a sign of life.
But because we don't get like a printed receipt breaking down the weight, because we just see one digital number flashing at us, we panic.
We completely panic. We see a 1 kilogram jump from Sunday morning to Monday morning, and the brain instantly says, I ruined it.
I gained a kilo of fat over the weekend.
Which brings us to the most important mathematical reality we need to explore today. Because gaining a kilo of fat over a weekend is mathematically impossible.
Wait, hang on. Let's unpack this slowly. Because this part of the research honestly made me stop and reread the pages 3 times.
It's the 7,700 calorie fact.
Yes. And I think this is the single piece of information that just shatters the illusion of overnight weight gain.
It is the ultimate reality check.
Okay, let's do the math. To gain exactly 1 kilogram of actual real body fat, how much energy does the body need to physically store?
The body would need to consume and store 7,700 calories.
7,700 calories. But our sources make a massive distinction here, right? It's not just 7,700 total calories over the course of a day.
No, and this is where everyone gets tripped up. It is absolutely not 7,700 total calories. It is 7,700 extra calories. Extra, meaning above and beyond the baseline energy your body needs just to exist.
Because your body burns energy just keeping your heart beating, right?
Exactly. To inflate your lungs, to keep your brain functioning, to walk to the kitchen. That is your baseline.
So to gain 1 single kilogram of real body fat, you would have to eat every single thing your body requires for that baseline day.
And then somehow consume an additional 7,700 calories on top of that in 1 single day.
Okay, let me just do the math in my head here, because I don't think human beings are generally capable of doing this by accident.
They really aren't.
If my body burns, let's just say 2,000 calories a day just living my life, I would have to eat those 2,000 calories just to maintain my weight.
Right.
And then to gain 1 kilo of fat, I would have to eat another 7,700 calories. That's almost 10,000 calories in a Sunday.
Yes. Is a staggering amount of food.
Yeah.
Let's try to visualize what 7,700 extra calories actually looks like.
Please do.
Think about what you would physically have to force yourself to do. You would wake up and eat your normal breakfast, your normal lunch, your normal dinner.
You are full. You are satisfied.
And then, to hit that 7,700 extra mark, you would have to sit down and eat roughly 3 entire large pepperoni pizzas all by yourself.
Oh my God.
Or maybe 30 full-size candy bars on top of everything you already ate.
It would make you physically ill. Your stomach wouldn't be able to handle the sheer volume.
You would be so uncomfortable you couldn't move. You certainly wouldn't be doing it by having an extra spoonful of rice with dinner.
Or enjoying a small dessert on Saturday night.
Not even close.
Hmm.
The minor indulgences we beat ourselves up over are just drops in the bucket compared to the energy required to synthesize a kilogram of fat.
And let's push the math even further, because we all know the scale doesn't always just jump by 1. Sometimes it jumps by 2 kilograms over a weekend.
Right. And if that 2 kilograms were entirely fat, you would have had to consume over 15,000 extra calories in a single day.
15,000 extra calories.
It's absurd when you say it out loud, isn't it?
It really is.
Nobody actually does this. No one who is trying to be even remotely mindful of their health is accidentally eating 15,000 extra calories on a Sunday.
So when the scale goes up 1 kilogram overnight,
It is almost never fat.
I just want everyone to take a deep breath. Just let the sheer impossibility of that math sink in.
It is almost never fat.
You did not eat 7,700 extra calories yesterday. Therefore, your body did not manufacture and store a kilogram of fat overnight. It is a physical impossibility.
The immense guilt we carry when we see that number jump is completely unfounded. We are punishing ourselves for something that literally did not happen.
So if I'm standing in the bathroom and I've just realized that I mathematically couldn't have gained a kilo of fat, what on earth is making that number on the scale go up?
Because gravity isn't broken, right?
Exactly. Something is physically heavier. Where is that weight actually coming from?
This is where we get to transition from the cold math to the actual beautiful biology of your body. Because the human body is not a static block of marble.
It is a living, breathing, constantly adapting survival system.
Yeah. And most overnight weight gain, almost all of it, in fact, is simply a combination of water and timing.
Water and timing. Okay, instead of just reading down a list of culprits, I want to really explore the mechanisms here.
Let's do it.
Because our sources outline 5 major things that cause these overnight spikes. And I want to frame every single one of these not as something going wrong, but as your body functioning exactly the way it is supposed to.
That is the only way to look at it. None of these are failures of willpower. They are evolutionary adaptations.
So let's talk about the first one, salt. We've all heard the phrase water weight, but how does salt actually move the needle on the scale so drastically?
Because salt itself doesn't weigh that much, right?
Exactly.
The salt is tiny, but the reaction it causes is massive.
Mm.
To understand this, we have to look back at our evolutionary history.
Okay, take us back.
For the vast majority of human existence, salt was incredibly rare. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors had to work really hard to find it, but it is absolutely essential for survival.
Your nerves, your brain, your muscles.
Even your heart. They all rely on a very specific concentration of sodium to send electrical signals.
So the body treats salt like precious cargo.
Exactly. And your body operates in a very delicate balance. It likes the saltiness of your blood and tissues to be perfectly, meticulously balanced at all times.
So fast forward to today, you go out to a restaurant.
And restaurant food is notoriously high in sodium because, let's be honest, salt makes food taste amazing.
It's why restaurant vegetables taste better than the ones we make at home.
Right. So you have a lovely dinner out, maybe sushi with some soy sauce or a nice seasoned steak. What is happening internally?
You eat the meal and your body immediately senses a massive influx of sodium.
To your ancient biology, this is an extreme event. If the salt concentration in your blood gets too high, it's dangerous.
So to protect you and to maintain that perfect internal balance, your kidneys get to work.
How so?
Usually your kidneys filter out excess water into your bladder. But when they sense a spike in sodium, they change tactics. They hold on to the water.
They literally pull water from your digestive tract and keep it in your bloodstream to dilute the salt.
Your blood volume physically expands, and that extra fluid pushes out into your surrounding tissues.
It's acting like a buffer, a safety net.
It is a brilliant biological buffer. It dilutes the salt until your kidneys have the time to slowly process it and flush it out over the next day or two.
But here's the catch. Water is heavy.
1 liter of water weighs exactly 1 kilogram.
So when your body hoards just a little bit of extra fluid to manage that salty dinner, what happens to the total mass of the suitcase?
The scale goes up.
The clinical data shows that just one salty meal can easily add half a kilogram to 1.5 kilograms to the scale overnight.
From one single dinner. And the absolute tragedy of this is the psychology.
Oh, it just completely messes with your head.
It does. You wake up on Monday, your fingers feel a little tight, you step on the scale, you see it's up 1.5 kilos, and you think, I got fat from eating at that
I
restaurant.
should have stayed home. I have zero self-control.
But it's literally just your body holding on to water to keep your heart beating safely. It's saving your life. And if you just drink normal water and go about your day, that extra fluid flushes out naturally. But the emotional damage of seeing that number, that can derail your entire week.
Okay, so salt makes total sense. But what about the one everyone seems terrified of? I have friends who will cut out bread or pasta entirely because they say the scale spikes the next day.
Ah, carbohydrates.
It's a carbohydrate acting like salt.
It's a completely different mechanism, but it results in the same illusion. We have been so deeply conditioned to fear carbohydrates, but we need to look at the cellular mechanics of what actually happens when you eat one.
Walk us through it. I eat a piece of toast or a bowl of pasta. I chew it, swallow it. What happens next?
Your digestive system breaks that carbohydrate down into simple energy, specifically glucose. Now, your body uses what it needs immediately to keep you moving.
Right.
But the energy it doesn't need right that second, it stores for later. And it stores it directly in your liver and in your muscle tissue as a substance called glycogen. Glycogen. So it's like packing a pantry full of quick, accessible energy right inside the muscle.
So you can use it when you need to run for a bus or carry heavy groceries.
Yep.
That's the perfect way to think of it. Evolutionarily, we needed fast energy to sprint away from danger.
Fat is slow, long-term energy. Glycogen is fast, immediate energy.
Exactly. But here is the critical biological catch that nobody ever explains. You cannot store glycogen dry.
What do you mean by dry?
Think of glycogen like a dry sponge. You can't just pack dry powder into a muscle cell. It has to be held in a solution.
Oh, I see.
For every single gram of glycogen your body stores in your muscles, it has to chemically bind it to 3 to 4 grams of water. They are a package deal.
Wow. So for every 1 gram of energy, you get 3 to 4 grams of water coming along for the ride.
That is the unbreakable rule of human biology. You cannot store the fuel without also storing the water.
So let's look at how this plays out in real life. Let's say you have a really busy week, or maybe you intentionally try eating low carb for a few days to see quick results.
Right. Your body doesn't have incoming carbs, so it burns through the glycogen stored in your muscles.
And as the glycogen leaves the muscles, the water goes with it.
Exactly. You literally pee it out, and the scale drops dramatically in the first 3 days.
And you stand in the bathroom and think, wow, this is magic. I lost 2 kilos of fat.
But you didn't.
You didn't lose an ounce of fat.
You just drained your muscle energy and lost the water weight attached to it. Your muscles are now depleted, flat, and dehydrated.
But then the weekend comes. You decide to live your life. You have a normal amount of carbohydrates, a sandwich for lunch, some potatoes with dinner.
Your smart, capable body says, oh, thank goodness, fuel's back. Quick, let's restock the pantry and the muscles so we're ready for anything.
And as it restocks the glycogen, it restocks the water.
3 to 4 grams of water for every gram of glycogen. The muscles fill back up, they get beautifully hydrated, and the total physical weight of your body increases.
So eating more carbs simply means more water weight, not fat.
The scale goes up because your muscles are literally full of vital energy and hydration. It is a sign of a healthy, robust metabolism.
But because we only see the single digital number, we interpret it as a failure.
We think the sandwich made us fat overnight. It didn't. It just hydrated our muscles.
That is such a massive relief to hear. You're not gaining fat from a weekend bowl of pasta. You are just refilling your energy stores.
It's a beautiful system when you actually understand it.
Okay, so food drives a lot of this water fluctuation, but what if my food is entirely perfectly balanced and I'm just really stressed out?
Because our sources bring up poor sleep and stress as major culprits.
Yes, and I know this deeply affects our listeners. We tend to treat sleep as a luxury, but hormonally, it is a metabolic necessity.
It is a huge one, especially for women navigating the immense complexities of modern life, balancing careers, families, aging parents.
So what happens inside the body when we don't get enough of it? Say it's Sunday night, you've got the Sunday scaries, you are tossing and turning, worrying about a meeting, and you only sleep 4 hours.
Monday morning, the scale is up. Why?
Right.
Again, we have to look at our ancestral biology. When you have a terrible night of sleep, or when you are under a significant amount of chronic psychological stress, your body perceives that as a literal physical threat.
Your ancient brain doesn't know the difference between I'm stressed about a presentation and I'm being stalked by a predator.
The alarm bells ring the exact same way. The body triggers the sympathetic nervous system and spikes a hormone called cortisol.
The stress hormone.
Right. And cortisol is a survival hormone. One of the many things cortisol does is signal to your kidneys to hold on to sodium.
Which, as we just learned, means holding on to water.
Because if you are under attack or facing a famine, your body wants to ensure you have enough blood volume to survive an injury or a period of dehydration.
It is a brilliant, life-saving protective mechanism.
The body thinks, we're under siege, times are tough, we better hoard our resources.
So bad sleep alone can add a kilogram to the scale.
Yes.
Let's just sit with that for a moment. A bad night of sleep alone can add a kilogram to the scale.
And this is the part that feels the most deeply unfair. This happens even if your diet was completely perfect.
You could eat the most nutrient-dense, perfectly portioned meals all day Sunday.
But if you lie awake stressing all night, your cortisol spikes, your body hoards water to protect you, and on Monday morning, the gravity meter reads higher.
And what do? We blame the food.
Every single time.
We never stop to think, oh, my body is just exhausted and stressed and holding onto water as a defense mechanism. We just blame our willpower.
It creates such a cruel, self-defeating cycle. The scale goes up because you are stressed, which makes you feel like a failure, which causes more cortisol to flood your system.
Which keeps the water weight locked on.
Exactly. Understanding that sleep and stress physically manifest as heavy water weight is so liberating. It means the answer isn't to punish yourself and eat less. The answer is to rest more.
Okay, that brings us to the next culprit, which is exercise inflammation. And if we were talking about cruel cycles, this one feels like a sick joke.
The irony of this one is physically painful.
It really is. You decide you are going to do something good for yourself. You do a really tough, challenging workout on Saturday.
Maybe you try a new strength training class or you go for a long hike.
You wake up Sunday, your legs are a little sore, but you feel proud. You did the thing.
Then Monday comes, you step on the scale, expecting the machine to reward you for your hard work, and the number is higher.
Wait, shouldn't burning all those calories make the scale go down?
Logically, you would think so. But it comes down to how exercise actually changes the architecture of your body. When you do a new or intense workout, you aren't actually building muscle in the limb.
You are creating tiny microscopic tears in your muscle fibers.
Microtrauma.
That sounds scary, but it's completely normal, right?
Totally normal.
Yeah.
That is how adaptation works. You break the muscle down slightly so the body can rebuild it stronger to handle the stress next time.
But the rebuilding process takes resources.
Lots of resources. Your body senses these micro tears and initiates a full-blown healing response. It creates localized cellular inflammation.
Now, how does the body heal inflammation? What are the actual mechanics?
It dilates the blood vessels around the damaged muscle and floods the area with fluid. Specifically, blood plasma carrying white blood cells, nutrients, and amino acids to repair the tissue.
It literally swells, and we can feel this happening, can't we?
We feel it deeply. When your legs are heavy and sore 2 days after a squat workout, or your shoulders ache after gardening, that is the physical feeling of inflammation and fluid rushing to the area to heal you.
But because fluid has physical mass, the scale goes up.
The body is holding extra water inside the muscles to repair the tissue you worked so hard to challenge.
So that higher number on the scale isn't a sign that your workout was a waste of time. It is literal physical proof that your workout is working.
It is a sign of adaptation and repair, not failure.
It is the evidence of your strength. If you start a new exercise routine and the scale jumps up a kilo or two in the first week, you should celebrate that.
It means your body is responding. It is healing. It is building. But again, because we are blind to the biology, we see the jump, we get completely discouraged, and we quit the workout program before it even has a chance to change our bodies.
We quit because we misinterpret the data.
We really do.
Okay, we have one final major culprit to cover, and this is the one that is entirely out of our control, and the one that every woman listening to this knows in her bones.
The hormonal cycle.
The inescapable reality of our biology.
The monthly hormonal shifts are probably the single biggest driver of maddening, unpredictable scale fluctuations for women during their reproductive years and through perimenopause.
Let's talk about the days leading up to a period. What is actually shifting internally?
After ovulation, as you move into the second half of your cycle, your levels of progesterone and estrogen are shifting dramatically.
And these hormones don't just affect reproduction, do they?
No, they have a profound systemic effect on fluid balance in the entire body. Specifically, changes in estrogen and progesterone can make your blood vessels a bit more permeable.
They get slightly leaky.
Yes, and the body naturally, instinctively begins to retain water in the spaces between your cells. Furthermore, progesterone can slow down your digestion.
Which means food physically sits in your digestive tract longer, adding more physical weight to the inventory.
And we aren't talking about a few undetectable ounces here. We are talking about massive shifts.
Clinical data shows this can cause 1 to 3 kilograms of water retention.
That is up to almost 7 pounds of pure fluid, just from existing in a female body. You can feel it. Your rings get tight on your fingers, your jeans feel stiff, you just feel heavy.
And it is so incredibly frustrating because you can be doing absolutely everything right. You are eating beautifully, you are moving your body, you are prioritizing sleep, you are managing your stress.
And you step on the scale, and you are 2 kilograms heavier for absolutely no behavioral reason whatsoever.
And this raises a really vital question we need to ask ourselves. Why do we let this predictable event ruin our week when we know it happens every single month?
It appears the body does what it needs to do, and then a few days into your cycle, the hormones shift again, the kidneys release the water, and the weight disappears. Every cycle. Every time.
It is a temporary biological state, not a permanent change in body composition.
It's exactly like the weather.
Yeah.
You wouldn't blame yourself if you woke up and it was raining. You shouldn't blame yourself if your body is holding water because of where you are in your cycle.
Our sources also briefly mention that environmental factors like heat and travel cause similar fluid shifts.
If it's a very hot weekend, your body holds water to help regulate your core temperature through sweat. If you took a long flight, the changes in cabin pressure cause fluid to pool in your legs.
Heat, travel, hormones, exercise, sleep, carbs, salt, all of these incredible complex systems, none of them are fat. All of them change the number on the scale.
Every single one of these explanations should be a massive sigh of relief. Your body is not broken, is not betraying you. It is just doing its job, reacting to the environment and keeping you alive.
To really cement how unfair this daily scale game is and how easily we are tricked by it, our sources outline a really vivid hypothetical scenario.
Oh, I love this part.
And I think this is going to resonate deeply with our listeners. Let's talk about the twins story.
This is one of the most powerful ways to illustrate everything we've just discussed. It takes all the clinical biology and puts it into a real-world emotional context.
Okay, set the scene for us.
Imagine two identical twins. Let's call them twin A and twin B. They have the exact same genetics, the exact same body composition, the exact same baseline metabolism.
And they decide to spend a long weekend together. They are inseparable.
So they do everything exactly the same.
Yeah.
Every single variable is controlled.
They eat the exact same food. Every single bite, every sip of water is identical.
They do the exact same exercise. They go for the same hour-long hike. They walk the exact same number of steps around town.
They have the exact same energetic output and input for the entire weekend. And on Monday morning, they wake up, step on their respective bathroom scales, and both of them weigh exactly 70 kilograms.
Perfect. 70 kilos on Monday. Now they go about their Monday routine. They still eat exactly the same pre-planned meals. They do the same evening yoga routine.
But there are a few tiny, invisible differences in how they experience that specific Monday.
Right. Let's look closely at Twin B. Twin B had the exact same chicken and rice dinner as Twin A, but Twin B's chicken was marinated in just a little bit more soy sauce.
A slightly saltier dinner, so her kidneys are noticing that sodium.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then they go to bed. Twin A puts her head on the pillow and sleeps like a rock for 8 uninterrupted hours.
But Twin B?
Twin B has a neighbor whose dog is barking, or maybe she's just feeling a little anxious about a project at work. Twin B tosses and turns, wakes up 3 times, and gets a really poor night of sleep.
Cortisol is spiking for Twin B.
Precisely. Her body thinks there's a threat. And on top of that, Twin B happens to be mid-cycle, right before her period. Twin A is at a different point in her cycle, maybe just after her period.
So Twin B is dealing with a trifecta of biological triggers: a salty dinner, poor sleep, and hormonal fluid retention.
But remember, she ate the exact same amount of energy and did the exact same exercise as her sister.
They wake up on Tuesday morning. They both walk into their bathrooms. Twin A looks down, and the scale says 69.5 kilograms. She lost half a kilo.
She feels amazing, light, validated.
And Twin B steps on the scale, and her scale says 70.8 kilograms.
Almost a whole kilo heavier than the day before.
They ate the same, they moved the same, their actual fat mass is identical to the gram. But Twin B just slept slightly worse, had a saltier dinner, and is retaining water from her natural cycle.
Yep.
Twin B did nothing wrong.
No, not a single thing.
How many of us have been Twin B?
I think every single woman listening to this has been Twin B.
Comparing ourselves to a friend or a partner, or even just comparing ourselves to our own past efforts and feeling betrayed by the reflection of a number that is being heavily influenced by entirely invisible factors.
It's heartbreaking, honestly.
So this brings up a massive dilemma. If the daily scale is this volatile, if it's this easily influenced by a little soy sauce or a barking dog, should we just throw our scales out the window?
Are they inherently evil devices?
It's a completely understandable reaction to just want to smash the scale with a hammer.
But the scale itself isn't evil, it doesn't have an agenda. It's just a piece of metal and plastic reporting gravitational pull.
The problem isn't the machine. The problem is our relationship with it, and specifically the deeply flawed way we interpret the data it gives us. Our method is broken.
How do we fix the method? If a woman wants to monitor her health and progress without letting these daily water fluctuations destroy her mental peace, what is the alternative?
We have to fundamentally change our perspective on what a single weigh-in actually represents.
A daily weigh-in is just a snapshot. It is a chaotic, momentary snapshot taken at an unpredictable moment of a constantly changing dynamic biological system.
Think of it like taking one single blurry frame from a 2-hour movie and trying to understand the entire plot of the film. You can't. You need to watch the whole film.
You need to see how the frames connect over time.
You need the context. And the way we get that context with our weight is by looking at the trend, not the individual erratic data points.
The clinical sources we reviewed introduce a method that completely diffuses the emotional power of the daily scale. It's called the 7-day average method.
Okay, let's walk through this step by step, because I know for some people the idea of stepping on the scale more often sounds terrifying.
If stepping on it once a week ruins my Monday, why would I want to step on it every single day?
It sounds counterintuitive, I know. It sounds like exposure therapy. But it is entirely about removing the emotion and treating yourself like a neutral scientist gathering data points.
Here's the method. First, you step on the scale at the exact same time every morning.
The most accurate time is right after you wake up, after you use the bathroom, but before you eat or drink anything. This creates the most consistent baseline conditions possible.
Okay, same time, same conditions. Second, you look at the number and you write it down.
You put it in a notebook or in an app on your phone.
Yeah.
And this is the most crucial, difficult part. You do it completely emotionlessly.
You do not react.
You do not judge yourself. You do not let that number dictate whether you are allowed to have carbohydrates for breakfast. You just log it as a neutral data point, exactly like writing down the weather outside.
Oh, it's 70 degrees today. Okay. Oh, the scale says 71 kilos today. Okay.
Which is incredibly hard at first. It takes serious practice to uncouple your self-worth from that number.
But knowing what we know now about the biology of water weight, it becomes a little bit easier to look at a high number and say, my legs are sore from yesterday's hike. That's just inflammation. And move on with your day.
Knowledge gives you that armor. It protects your peace. So you do this every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to Sunday.
You gather 7 distinct data points. Some will be high, some will be low.
At the end of the week, you add those 7 numbers together and you divide by 7.
Basic math. You find the average for the week.
You calculate the weekly average, and this is where the real magic happens. You take this week's average, and you compare it to last week's average.
So we are looking at the trend, not the Tuesday morning number after a salty dinner.
Exactly. The trend is honest. The daily number is noise.
I love that so much.
Because when you take an average of 7 days, you are mathematically smoothing out all those chaotic water fluctuations.
If you had a massive spike on Wednesday because you slept terribly and your cortisol was high, but the rest of the week was relatively stable, the average softens that Wednesday spike.
It stops it from looking like a total disaster. It reveals the true, underlying, honest direction that your body's actual tissue is moving.
Your physical body composition, your fat and muscle, changes very, very slowly. Averages capture slow changes.
Daily weigh-ins only capture fast changes, which, as we've learned, are always just water.
And what's so powerful about this is what our sources point out regarding our perception of success. You might actually find that during the exact week you felt like a total failure.
The week the scale spiked on Tuesday and Thursday and you were ready to throw in the towel.
When you actually sit down and calculate the average, it was dropping compared to the week before.
The daily noise just blinded you to your own success. You were moving in the right direction the entire time, but the static of the daily fluctuations was so loud you couldn't hear the music.
The 7-day average turns down the static.
That is such a relieving concept. It takes all the power away from Monday morning. Monday is no longer a verdict on your weekend. It is just 1/7 of a math equation. It's just data.
It shifts your entire mindset from I am failing to I am observing. And when you observe over time without judgment, you start to learn your own body's beautiful, unique rhythms.
You start to realize, oh, my average always bumps up a little bit during week 3 of my cycle, and then it drops beautifully in week 4. You stop fighting your biology and you start understanding it.
But even with the 7-day average, even with all this deep understanding of water weight and data and biology, there is still a massive blind spot when it comes to relying on gravity to tell us how we are doing.
A profound blind spot. Because while the average gives us a much better, clearer picture of our body mass. Weight itself is an incredibly narrow, limiting metric for human health.
Let's transition from the data back to the emotion, back to the actual lived experience of being a woman trying to be healthier.
Because our sources list these vital, life-changing things that the scale is entirely 100% blind to.
The intangibles of progress, the things that actually matter for your longevity, your long-term health, and your daily happiness, which cannot possibly be measured in kilograms.
Let's talk about those unseen victories. Because the scale is blind.
Oh.
It does not see the walk you took on Tuesday when it was raining and you really just wanted to sit on the couch and watch TV.
But you put your shoes on and you went anyway.
It does not measure the increased strength in your heart from taking that walk. It does not measure the mental clarity and the stress relief you got from being outside in the fresh air.
The scale does not see the meal you chose on Wednesday night. You had a long, grueling day at work. You were exhausted. The easy, heavily processed option was right there in the freezer.
But you chose to nourish yourself instead. You chose a meal that made you feel good. The scale doesn't reward that choice the next morning.
In fact, if that healthy meal had a little extra volume or a lot of fiber, the scale might even go up the next morning because of the physical weight of the food in transit.
But your body knows the difference. Your cells are nourished, your digestion is working, your energy for the next day is better.
The scale is completely oblivious to that beautiful reality.
The scale cannot measure the healthy habit you kept for the 14th day in a row. It doesn't give you a badge for consistency.
It doesn't know that you finally prioritized drinking enough water today, which, ironically, might make it read slightly higher temporarily while your body hydrates.
It doesn't see the deep internal rewiring you are doing in your brain. Think about the craving.
The intense, overwhelming craving you had on Friday afternoon when you were stressed. And instead of just reacting to it automatically like you might have done a year ago, you paused.
You actually took a breath. You thought about it. You asked yourself what you really truly needed in that moment, whether it was food or a break or a hug.
The scale cannot measure that pause.
And that pause is everything. That pause is the foundation of a completely new relationship with food and a new relationship with yourself.
That is a massive, life-altering victory.
And the scale just sits there on the floor, blank and stupid, offering a number that has absolutely nothing to do with that immense personal growth.
It cannot measure the sleep you finally prioritized over answering emails late at night. It cannot measure the boundaries you set with your family to protect your peace. It does not measure your patience.
It does not measure your courage. It does not measure the fact that you showed up again today, that you are listening to this right now, even when last week felt entirely impossible and you wanted to throw in the towel.
You are still here. You are still trying. You are still caring for yourself.
The resilience to keep going when the feedback loop is frustrating, well, that is the most important metric of all, and it weighs absolutely nothing.
The scale measures weight. Progress is something else entirely.
Progress is how you feel in your clothes. Progress is how much energy you have at 3 in the afternoon. Progress is the numbers on your blood work at the doctor's office.
Progress is the quiet, steady confidence that you are finally keeping the promises you make to yourself.
When we reduce our entire complex journey to the gravitational pull on our physical bodies on a Monday morning, we rob ourselves of the joy of all those other incredible victories.
We have to start defining success on our own terms, not the scale's terms.
We have to stop letting a piece of bathroom equipment tell us whether we are allowed to feel proud of ourselves today.
You are allowed to be proud of the walk, the meal, the water, the sleep, the pause. You own those victories. No machine can take them away from you.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to give you an anchor, because tomorrow is another morning.
And whether you decide to try the 7-day average method, or whether you decide to put the scale in the back of the closet for a month to heal your relationship with it, there will come a time when that number surprises you again.
It is inevitable. The body is dynamic. It fluctuates. The number will go up when you don't expect it to.
And when it does, before you spiral, before you start rewriting the history of your weekend, before you create a negative, punishing story about what that number means about your worth or your willpower,
I want you to stop, take a breath, and ask yourself one simple question.
did I actually eat 7,700 extra calories yesterday?
If the answer is no, that number is almost certainly not fat. It is water, it is timing, it is your body being alive.
Let your body live. Let it fluctuate. It is holding water to heal you, to balance you, to protect you.
The scale lies every morning. The trend tells the truth. Keep going.